The sound of her steady breathing beside him in the darkness made Marcus's heart race. How had he ended up here, sharing a bed with Victoria Hayes, the iron-fisted CEO who had made his professional life a living hell for the past 2 years? As the blizzard howled outside their cabin window, he stared at the ceiling, remembering his daughter's words that morning, "Dad, sometimes the universe puts people together for a reason." If only Emma could see him now, trapped in this impossible situation with the last person he'd ever expected to understand his struggles as a single father. Hey everyone. If you're enjoying this story so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that will tug at your heartstrings. Your support means everything, and I promise this journey of unexpected connection is one you won't want to miss. Marcus Parker had always been defined by 2 things: his unwavering love for his daughter and his relentless work ethic. At 34, he'd mastered the delicate balancing act of being both mother and father to his 8-year-old daughter Emma while climbing the corporate ladder at Hayes Innovations. The company had been his salvation after his wife Melissa's death 3 years ago, providing the stability and income he desperately needed to create a new normal for himself and Emma. Every morning, he would wake before dawn, the ghost of Melissa's absence still palpable in the quiet house. He'd prepare Emma's lunch with the same care his wife once had, writing little notes with hearts and jokes that he tucked between her sandwich and apple slices. He'd lay out her clothes, check her homework one last time, and then gently wake her with a kiss on her forehead and their special morning greeting, "Rise and shine, my brave girl." These quiet moments were sacred to him, the sleepy smile Emma would give him, so like her mother's that sometimes it physically hurt to see it. The way she'd wrap her small arms around his neck and whisper, "Morning, Daddy," before launching into stories about her dreams or questions about the day ahead. In these moments, Marcus felt both the crushing weight of single parenthood and the indescribable joy of being Emma's world. Victoria Hayes had inherited the tech company from her father 2 years ago, sweeping in like a winter storm. At 36, she had transformed the once familial workplace culture into a ruthlessly efficient machine. The employees nicknamed her the Ice Queen behind her back, not that anyone would dare say it to her face. Her reputation for perfectionism and emotional detachment preceded her everywhere she went. She wore power like a second skin, tailored suits in steel grays and midnight blues, heels that added unnecessary inches to her already impressive height, and a perpetual expression of cool assessment that made even senior executives nervous. In meetings, she had a habit of tapping one manicured finger against her tablet while others spoke, as if counting the seconds until they finished wasting her time. The company's profits had soared under her leadership, but so had employee turnover. For Marcus, Victoria represented everything he resented about corporate America. Her constant demands for late hours and weekend work seemed deliberately designed to punish those with families. The single parents on staff had dwindled to just him, and he suspected it was only a matter of time before he too would be forced to choose between his job and his daughter. Their interactions had always been strictly professional and increasingly tense. Victoria seemed to have a sixth sense for calling meetings just as Marcus was preparing to leave for the day, or requesting complex reports due Monday morning that necessitated weekend work. He had begun to wonder if she had specifically targeted him, though he couldn't imagine why. His work was impeccable, his manner always respectful if not warm. "Parker, I need you in Aspen for the Nordstrom pitch," Victoria had announced on Monday morning, dropping a folder on his desk without even looking up from her phone. "We leave Thursday morning. Back Friday night." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "This Thursday?" "But Ms. Hayes, I can't possibly." "Can't isn't a word we use at Hayes Innovations," she cut him off, finally meeting his eyes with that steel blue gaze that brooked no argument. "This account could double our Q1 projections. I need my best numbers person there." The compliment, if it was one, caught him off guard. Victoria Hayes didn't offer praise casually, or really at all. But the timing couldn't have been war. "I understand the importance," Marcus said, trying to keep his voice level. "But my daughter has her winter concert Thursday evening. I'm the only family she has, and I promised her I'd be there." Something flickered across Victoria's face, so briefly he almost missed it. Was it annoyance? Disappointment? Whatever it was, it vanished behind her professional mask. The company jet leaves at 7 a.m. sharp. We'll be back by Friday evening. She turned to leave, then paused. And Parker? Bring your A-game. Nordstrom doesn't suffer fools. Marcus watched her walk away, her designer heels clicking purposefully across the hardwood floors. How could he explain to Emma that he would miss her solo? The thought of her small face crumpling with disappointment made his chest ache that he spent the rest of the day in a fog of resentment and resignation, mechanically completing his tasks while mentally rehearsing how to break the news to Emma. By the time he picked her up from after-school care, he still hadn't found the right words. Emma bounded into the car with her usual enthusiasm, her curly hair escaping from its ponytail, her backpack clutched to her chest. Dad! Guess what? Ms. Winters said I have the best voice in the whole class and I get to sing the first verse of Winter Wonderland all by myself. Her excitement was palpable, her eyes shining with pride. Marcus forced a smile, reaching over to tuck a stray curl behind her ear. That's amazing, princess. I always knew you were a star. You're still coming, right? You promised you'd sit in the front row so I could see you. Marcus gripped the steering wheel tighter. Let's talk about that when we get home, okay? How about pizza for dinner? The distraction worked temporarily, but as they sat at their kitchen table with half-eaten slices between them, Marcus knew he couldn't delay any longer. Emma, sweetheart, I need to tell you something about Thursday. She looked up, pizza halfway to her mouth, and something in his expression must have given him away because her smile faded immediately. You're not coming to my concert, are you? The directness of her question, the immediate understanding in her eyes, broke his heart. She was too young to be so accustomed to disappointment. I have to go on a business trip with my boss, he explained, reaching for her hand across the table. It's really important, and I tried to get out of it, but, it's okay, Dad. Emma's voice was small but steady. I know your job is important. Not as important as you, Marcus insisted, moving to kneel beside her chair. Never as important as you. I'll have Mrs. Rodriguez record every second, and we'll watch it together as soon as I get back. Emma nodded, but the light had gone out of her eyes. Will you at least try to make it back in time? I promise I'll do everything I can, he said, knowing even as he spoke that it was a promise he probably couldn't keep. That evening, as he tucked Emma into bed, he struggled to find the right words to comfort her. Princess, I'm so sorry about the concert, he began, smoothing her wild curls away from her forehead, curls so like her mother's that sometimes it took his breath away. Emma looked up at him with those knowing eyes that always seemed too wise for her 8 years. It's okay, Daddy. I know your job is important. The resignation in her voice cut deeper than anger would have. Just for one night, sweetheart. I have to go to Aspen with my boss for an important meeting. But I'll be thinking of you the whole time. But my concert. Her lower lip trembled slightly. I know, Em. I'm so sorry. I'll have Mrs. Rodriguez record every second, and we'll watch it together as soon as I get back. I promise. Emma was quiet for a long moment, studying the glow-in-the-dark stars on her ceiling. Is your boss the lady in the picture from the company party? The pretty one who never smiles? Marcus couldn't help but chuckle. That's her. Ms. Hayes. She looks sad, Emma said simply. Sad? No, honey. She's just serious. Very focused on work. Emma shrugged, the wisdom of childhood allowing her to see what adults often missed. Maybe she doesn't have anyone to go to concerts for. Her words stayed with Marcus.